So first things first, here is how I want you to look at fat loss phases from this moment on. A fat loss phase will not give you your goal body. A fat loss phase will only reveal it. And so this is where maintenance comes in. You guys enter maintenance. Some of you have been dieting your entire lives. Dieting, binging, losing the weight, gaining it, losing the weight, gaining it. You've never, ever lived at maintenance. And so you enter maintenance. Typically there's some weight gain when you enter maintenance, especially when you've been dieting for the last 10, 20, 30 years. There might not be any weight gain, but chances are there will be because your body will rebound because you're finally nourishing it properly. So there's some weight gain. Oh, I feel uncomfortable. Oh, whatever. I'm eating so much food. It's like 1,800 calories, But if you're used to eating 1,000 calories a day, that seems like a lot of food. I know, I've been there. Anyhow, you guys enter maintenance, and the first thing in your head is, when do I get to cut? When do I get to cut? You need to flip that switch. You need to change that narrative. It's not about when do I get to cut. It's what can I do? You never take the time to increase your metabolic rate by adding muscle mass and by eating more food and by living at maintenance. As an example, when I started my journey 6 years ago, I was barely eating 1,400 calories a day. My coach put me on a very conservative 1,700 calories to start off with. I was like, oh my God. I remember thinking how much food that was. I built for 2 years before I even considered fat loss. That's because I'd been dieting on and off for 10 years. Now, some of you have been dieting on and off for 10, 20, 30 years. And you want to go into maintenance for 4 months and get the hell out? It's no wonder I am where I am today. And that's because I took 2 years. No one's saying you have to stay 2 years, but you gotta give it at least. So if you have never taken the time to build muscle mass, to add muscle mass to your frame prior to entering a fat loss phase, what do you think is going to be there when you lose that layer of fat? Nothing. There will be nothing there. You will be skinny fat and you will look like a melted freaking candle because muscle is the only thing that will give shape to your body. Yet a lot of you are constantly rushing whatever phase you're in. You want to get out of it because all you want to do is enter fat loss because you feel uncomfortable or whatever reason. You just want to enter fat loss to reveal what? What do you think fat loss is going to do if you have not built anything first? It's what can I do during this maintenance phase that will build my best body so that when I eventually enter fat loss, I have something to show for it. But you're not thinking that way. The only thing you're thinking of is I want to get in maintenance and I want to get the hell out because I want to continue my quest for fat loss. The problem is you can't chase fat loss forever. Fat loss should be the tiniest little time spent throughout the year. The majority of the time should be spent at maintenance, not the other way around. But a lot of you guys have this backwards. You spend the majority of your time in fat loss, followed by teeny tiny phases of maintenance, and then you wonder why your body never changes. Or you wonder why, how come she can eat so much food? How come I can only eat 1,800 calories and I've been doing this for years? Well, it's because you never take. And so this is where maintenance comes in. You guys enter maintenance. Some of you have been dieting your entire lives. Dieting, binging, losing the weight, gaining it, losing the weight, gaining it. You've never, ever lived at maintenance. And so you enter maintenance. Typically there's some weight gain when you enter maintenance, especially when you've been dieting for the last 10, 20, 30 years. There might not be any weight gain, but chances are there will be because your body will rebound because you're finally nourishing it properly. So there's some weight gain. Oh, I feel uncomfortable. Oh, whatever. I'm eating so much food. It's like 1,800 calories, But if you're used to eating 1,000 calories a day, that seems like a lot of food. I know, I've been there. Anyhow, you guys enter maintenance, and the first thing in your head is, when do I get to cut? When do I get to cut? You need to flip that switch. You need to change that narrative. It's not about when do I get to cut. It's what can I do? Okay, and actually those choices start with living at maintenance for quite a while and building your best body and feeling and looking your best. It's not going to come from a diet. It's not going to come from a diet. Yes, I got to plug in my phone because my phone's always dead. That's a bad choice I make. I never plug in my phone. Okay, I got to get in there. I got to train. Have a good day, guys. You got to give it at least 6 to 9 months, if not even a year, depending on how long you've been dieting, but at least 6 to 9 months to a year of living at maintenance, working on your habits, working on your relationship with food, working on your relationship with your body, with yourself, working on your relationship with the scale, doing all the work that needs to be done. You have to spend time in this super important part of the journey, in the most important part of the journey. Fat loss is not the most important part of the journey. It is literally nothing. Now, outside of all those other very important things that we learn at maintenance, there's also the fact that you want to build some muscle, you want to build your body, and you also want to build up your metabolic rate, which will come from eating food and adding muscle. So you want to work on that when you're at maintenance so that when you actually do enter a fat loss phase, you're not starting from a low caloric intake. You're bringing your calories way up so that your fat loss phase is successful. But also, understand that adding muscle is so slow. If you think fat loss is slow, adding muscle is even slower. So what do you think you're going to do in 4 months? You're not even going to make a dent. You need at least 6 to 9 months, if not longer, the longer the better, to add that muscle. Ladies, this process takes time. It takes a long freaking time. And now don't send me DMs. Well, if it takes so long, I'm so discouraged now. I don't want to do it. Kate, to me, that is the dumbest statement anybody can make. Why? Here's the thing. In 5 years, I will be 52 years old. Whether I like it or not. What kind of 52-year-old woman do I want to be? Well, that depends on the choices I make today. So don't tell me it takes a long time. It'll take the fucking time it takes, but one thing's for sure. You're going to get older every year of your life. So how you age and the quality of life you give yourself is going to be contingent upon the choices you make today. So why not make good choices? This idea that women think they need to just roll over and die after they're 40, as if their lives are over. It's over. It's over for me. I'm 40. What? Nothing irritates me more than that. You are not a victim to getting older. You 100% can control the outcome if you make good choices. And unfortunately, some women don't see that as an empowering statement. They see that as a personal freaking attack. Get the chip off your shoulder. And understand that the choice is yours. You have the power to change it. That should freaking empower you and light a fire under your ass like never before, because you are not a victim. You have the power to change the outcome.